Sometimes the quietest one carries the loudest past. For 8 months, the Navy SEALs at Naval Amphibious Base Coronado had treated Food Service Specialist Third Class Elena, Whisper, Rodriguez like another civilian contractor struggling to adapt to military dining facility operations, content with serving meals because she couldn't handle the demanding responsibilities of active duty assignments that required tactical expertise and combat readiness under pressure. They saw her methodical approach to meal preparation and assumed she lacked the aggressive mindset necessary for special operations environments, witnessed her quiet demeanor during base emergencies, and mistook composed professionalism for inexperience with high-stakes military situations that separated warriors from support personnel who had never faced enemy fire. What they couldn't see beneath her standard-issue food service uniform and regulation haircut was a trident pin hidden on a chain around her neck, earned through 36 months of classified missions as a naval special warfare combat medic who had saved the lives of 47 wounded SEALs during operations so sensitive that her service record remained sealed in Pentagon archives. Rodriguez had voluntarily transferred to food service operations not because she couldn't handle special operations assignments, but because her last mission in Syria had ended with her entire team eliminated by enemy forces while she survived with traumatic brain injury and survivor's guilt that made her question whether she deserved to wear the trident that represented her fallen brother's ultimate sacrifice. Welcome to Silent Salute, where we reveal that America's most decorated warriors sometimes choose quiet service over recognition, their heroic past hidden behind humble duties, while their combat-tested skills remain dormant until someone notices the symbols they still carry. Before we share this incredible story of hidden valor that shocked an entire SEAL community, tell us in the comments about a time when you discovered someone's secret achievements that completely changed your perspective about their capabilities. And if you believe that true warriors often serve without seeking recognition, hit that subscribe button to support our mission of honoring those whose past achievements remain hidden in plain sight. Naval Amphibious Base Coronado operated as the West Coast headquarters for Naval Special Warfare Command, where America's most elite maritime warriors trained for missions behind enemy lines, while maintaining the physical conditioning and tactical readiness that separated SEALs from conventional military personnel who supported their operations from secure installations. Chief Petty Officer Marcus Iron Man Sullivan managed dining facility operations with corporate efficiency that ensured meal service met the nutritional demands of special operations personnel whose physical training and mission requirements exceeded normal military standards for fitness and performance under extreme combat conditions. Rodriguez, you've been working food service for 8 months without expressing interest in advancing to positions that would utilize whatever military experience you gained before this assignment. Are you planning to spend your entire naval career in the mess hall, or do you have ambitions for more challenging military occupational specialties? Rodriguez continued preparing meals with attention to detail learned from combat medical operations, where proper nutrition could accelerate healing processes and improve recovery rates for wounded warriors whose survival depended on maintaining physical strength during extended treatment and rehabilitation periods following battlefield injuries. Chief, nutrition directly impacts combat readiness and operational effectiveness. These meals support mission preparation and recovery phases, and someone needs to ensure they meet dietary requirements that optimize physical performance and mental clarity during demanding training exercises and actual combat deployments. Bosun's Mate 2nd Class Tyler Bulldozer, Washington, recently assigned to base operations after completing basic underwater demolition/SEAL training and eager to establish his reputation among seasoned special operations veterans, couldn't understand why anyone with apparent military bearing would choose food service when SEAL teams offered the ultimate military career advancement. Opportunities. Rodriguez, I don't understand why you seem satisfied with mess hall duty when you could be applying for special operations training programs that require real military expertise. This food service assignment is what they give personnel who can't handle combat operations or tactical responsibilities that matter. Rodriguez's response reflected understanding gained from classified missions where support operations enabled frontline success, knowing that effective military organizations required dedicated personnel in every role while understanding that meaningful service often meant ensuring others could focus on their primary combat responsibilities without concerning themselves with logistical support requirements. Washington, military effectiveness depends on integrated support systems that enable combat personnel to concentrate on tactical objectives. Whether you're conducting direct action missions or ensuring proper nutrition for operational readiness, your contribution to overall mission success serves the same strategic objectives and military excellence standards. The speculation began when SEAL Team 3 veterans noticed Rodriguez's familiarity with military protocols and tactical terminology that exceeded normal food service training, leading to discussions about her background and previous assignments that might explain her apparent overqualification for dining facility operations and mess hall management responsibilities. Petty Officer First Class David "Shark" Martinez, whose own combat deployments had been limited to conventional operations rather than classified special operations missions, organized informal questioning designed to determine whether Rodriguez's military bearing represented actual experience or simply effective adaptation to base protocols and SEAL community expectations. Rodriguez, if your previous assignments involved real military operations, you should be able to discuss deployment experiences and tactical situations that prepared you for working around special operations personnel. We're curious about what kind of military background leads someone to choose food service over combat positions. Rodriguez recognized the testing as natural curiosity rather than harassment, understanding that SEAL communities develop tight bonds based on shared combat experiences while maintaining healthy skepticism about personnel whose backgrounds couldn't be verified through normal military channels and informal networking among special operations veterans. The psychological pressure escalated when base personnel began questioning Rodriguez's apparent lack of ambition and speculating about service record issues that would explain her contentment with employment that seemed inconsistent with her obvious military competence and professional bearing around special operations environments. Hospital Corpsman Second Class Lisa Doc Chun, whose own career advancement had been enhanced by aggressive pursuit of challenging assignments and specialized training opportunities, joined speculation about Rodriguez's motivations for accepting what appeared to be significant underemployment disguised as stable assignment within special operations support structure. I heard Rodriguez might have medical issues that prevent her from handling combat assignments, so they placed her in food service where she can't compromise operational security or endanger team members. Nobody with real special operations potential chooses mess hall duty when they could be training for actual combat missions. The rumors spread throughout the base, with personnel increasingly treating Rodriguez as someone who had somehow failed to meet military standards and was serving out her naval career in a position that required minimal responsibility while providing stable employment within the special operations community without actual participation in combat operations. Food Service Supervisor Chief Petty Officer Martinez, whose campaign to understand Rodriguez's background had been intensifying for months, decided that direct confrontation might force her to reveal information that would explain her apparent satisfaction with employment that seemed beneath her obvious capabilities and military bearing. Rodriguez, I'm tired of managing personnel whose backgrounds don't match their assignments. If you can't handle real military responsibilities, maybe you should consider civilian employment where mediocrity is acceptable. And food service doesn't require the excellence standards that characterize special operations support facilities. Rodriguez understood the implications of Chief Martinez's frustration, but chose not to respond with details about classified operations that would violate operational security protocols and potentially compromise ongoing missions or endanger personnel whose lives depended on maintaining the secrecy that protected special operations capabilities from foreign intelligence services. The revelation that would expose Rodriguez's hidden past began during lunch service on Thursday afternoon, when SEAL Team 5 returned from a classified training exercise that had simulated the kind of high-risk extraction operations that tested tactical coordination and medical support capabilities under extreme stress conditions. Lieutenant Commander James Phantom Thompson noticed Rodriguez organizing medical supplies in the mess hall storage area with precision that indicated familiarity with combat medical protocols rather than routine food service inventory management, triggering recognition that her movements reflected specialized training rather than casual organization skills. Rodriguez, why are you handling medical supplies with tactical field medic techniques? That's not standard procedure for food service personnel, and those organizational patterns suggest advanced combat medical training that exceeds normal base support requirements. Rodriguez realized that her automatic response to seeing medical equipment had revealed training that she had been keeping hidden for months, understanding that her combat medical instincts were still operating despite her conscious efforts to maintain cover as ordinary food service personnel without special operations background. Sir, I have some medical training from previous assignments that included basic field medic certification. When I see medical supplies, I organize them according to protocols that ensure rapid access during emergency situations, which seemed like good practice regardless of my current duties. Lieutenant Commander Thompson's combat experience included multiple deployments where exceptional medics had saved his team members' lives under impossible conditions, and Rodriguez's automatic organization of medical supplies triggered recognition that suggested capabilities far exceeding basic field medic training and routine military medical certification. The investigation that followed began when Lieutenant Commander Thompson noticed that Rodriguez's handling of medical equipment demonstrated expertise consistent with advanced combat medical training rather than basic certification, leading him to request informal background verification through special operations personnel channels and classified database searches. Senior Chief Petty Officer Robert Titan Davis, whose 30-year career in naval special warfare had included oversight of combat medical training programs, agreed to observe Rodriguez during her off-duty hours to determine whether her apparent medical expertise represented actual special operations background or simply exceptional dedication to learning advanced medical techniques. Thompson, I'll watch her interactions with medical situations and see if her responses indicate actual combat medical experience. If she's really a former special operations medic, her tactical instincts and medical decision-making will reveal capabilities that can't be faked through civilian medical training or basic military certification. The test came during a training accident when Petty Officer Second Class Kevin Rocket Adams suffered compound fracture during obstacle course training, creating medical emergency that required immediate intervention to prevent complications that could threaten his military career and long-term physical capabilities. Rodriguez responded to the emergency with tactical medical precision that demonstrated combat-tested expertise rather than routine first aid training, immediately assessing injury severity while establishing treatment priorities that reflected experience with battlefield medicine and trauma care under pressure situations where mistakes could result in permanent disability or death. Clear the area and establish security perimeter, Rodriguez commanded automatically, her voice carrying authority learned from combat medical operations where treating wounded personnel required tactical awareness of ongoing threats. While providing life-saving medical intervention under hostile fire and extreme stress conditions, her treatment of Adams' injury demonstrated advanced combat medical techniques, including tactical field surgery, pain management protocols, and evacuation procedures that exceeded anything taught in basic military medical training or civilian emergency medical technician certification programs available to routine military personnel. Senior Chief Davis observed Rodriguez's medical intervention with growing recognition that her capabilities indicated extensive special operations medical training rather than basic certification, noting tactical decision-making patterns and medical expertise that suggested classified combat medical operations and advanced military medical specialization. Rodriguez, your medical intervention demonstrates combat medical training that exceeds standard military certification. Your tactical approach and advanced techniques suggest special operations medical background rather than routine military medical training or civilian emergency medical certification. Rodriguez realized that her automatic response to medical emergency had revealed training that she had been concealing for months, understanding that her combat medical instincts had overcome conscious efforts to maintain cover as ordinary food service personnel without special operations experience or classified military background. The moment of truth arrived when Lieutenant Commander Thompson noticed the chain around Rodriguez's neck during her medical intervention, glimpsing the trident pin that she had kept hidden beneath her uniform while serving in food service operations that seemed inconsistent with her obvious special operations background and combat medical expertise. Rodriguez, Is that a Trident pin on your chain? That's not something you earn through food service assignments or routine military training. A Trident represents naval special warfare qualification that requires completing some of the most demanding military training in American history. The silence that followed lasted only seconds, but its impact transformed everyone's understanding of Rodriguez's background and explained her apparent overqualification for food service operations, her comfort around special operations personnel, and her automatic response to medical emergencies with tactical precision that indicated extensive combat experience. Rodriguez removed the chain from beneath her uniform, revealing the Trident pin that represented 36 months of classified operations as Naval Special Warfare Combat Medic. Her hidden identity finally exposed after 8 months of concealing achievements that exceeded most SEAL career accomplishments and combat medical records. Yes, sir. I earned this Trident through Naval Special Warfare medical training and 36 months of classified operations that included combat medical support for special operations missions in Syria, Afghanistan, and other locations that remain classified under operational security protocols. The revelation created immediate recognition among SEAL personnel who understood that earning a Trident required completing training that eliminated 90% of candidates, while her combat medical specialization represented additional qualification that placed her among the most elite medical personnel in American military history. Lieutenant Commander Thompson, whose own combat deployments had been supported by exceptional medics whose skills meant survival for wounded team members, realized that Rodriguez's food service assignment represented personal choice rather than professional limitation or medical disqualification from Special Operations Service. Rodriguez, your Trident and combat medical background explained everything we couldn't understand about your capabilities and military bearing. Why did you choose food service operations when you could be serving with special operations medical teams that need your expertise? Rodriguez's response reflected emotional wounds that combat veterans understood without explanation, knowing that survivors' guilt and traumatic stress could drive exceptional warriors to seek anonymous service rather than continuing in roles that triggered memories of fallen teammates and combat operations that ended with casualties among personnel they had been trained to protect. Sir, my last mission ended with my entire team eliminated while I survived with injuries that prevented me from protecting them. I requested food service assignment because I needed time to process the loss while still serving in a military environment that honored their sacrifice without triggering memories that interfered with mission effectiveness. The understanding that followed transformed Rodriguez's relationship with base personnel who recognized that her quiet service represented healing process rather than career limitation, her choice to serve without recognition demonstrating character that exceeded typical military dedication and professional commitment to Navy excellence standards. Senior Chief Davis, whose own career had included supporting wounded warriors through recovery processes that enabled return to active duty, approached Rodriguez with professional respect that acknowledged her combat achievements while understanding her need for assignment that provided stability during psychological recovery from traumatic combat experiences. Rodriguez, your service record and combat medical achievements represent the kind of expertise that every Special Operations unit needs. When you're ready to return to Special Operations Medical Service, your experience and training will be invaluable for missions that require the most capable combat medics in Navy history. The recognition ceremony that followed became a teaching moment for the entire base, demonstrating how exceptional warriors sometimes chose humble service during recovery periods while maintaining capabilities that exceeded most military personnel's career achievements and specialized training accomplishments. Petty Officer Rodriguez represents the kind of selfless service that characterizes naval special warfare personnel at their finest, Lieutenant Commander Thompson announced during base formation that honored her combat medical achievements. Her decision to serve without recognition while processing traumatic combat experiences demonstrates character that exceeds military expectations and professional standards. The combat medical training program that Rodriguez agreed to establish became legacy that enhanced base medical capabilities while providing her with meaningful service that honored fallen teammates by ensuring future special operations personnel received medical training that could prevent casualties during combat operations and tactical missions behind enemy lines. Her special operations medical expertise transformed base emergency response capabilities while creating training opportunities that prepared SEAL personnel for medical situations where her combat-tested techniques could save lives during missions where conventional medical support was unavailable and tactical medical intervention meant survival for wounded warriors. Food Service Supervisor Chief Martinez, realizing that his assessment of Rodriguez's potential had been based on complete ignorance of her special operations background and combat medical achievements, approached her with obvious professional respect and newfound appreciation for capabilities he had failed to recognize or understand. Rodriguez, I owe you an apology for questioning your military dedication and career motivation. Your combat medical record and special operations background explain everything I misunderstood about your service commitment and professional excellence. You were bringing special operations expertise to our food service operations while I was questioning your military competence. Rodriguez used her recognition to establish combat medical training programs that combined special operations medical expertise with base emergency protocols, creating educational opportunities that prepared personnel for medical situations requiring tactical medical intervention and advanced combat medical techniques learned through classified operations and special warfare medical training. The most important lesson from this experience, Rodriguez explained during combat medical seminars that became standard throughout Naval Special Warfare Command, is that medical intervention requires tactical thinking and coordinated response under pressure. Whether you're treating wounded SEALs behind enemy lines or responding to training accidents on base, lives depend on medical expertise combined with tactical awareness and calm decision-making under stress. The base assignment had provided Rodriguez with opportunity to heal while continuing military service in an environment that honored her achievements, demonstrating that exceptional warriors could serve effectively in any assignment while maintaining capabilities that exceeded normal military standards and specialized training requirements. Years later, when Lieutenant Rodriguez returned to Special Operations Medical Service while maintaining her food service management expertise, her story continued inspiring military personnel who understood that true warriors often served without recognition while processing combat experiences that had tested their limits and challenged their understanding of survival and sacrifice. Her example reminded everyone that in naval special warfare, as in all military service, the most critical expertise often belonged to personnel whose combat achievements exceeded their current assignments, and that sometimes the personnel who seemed most humble were those whose military accomplishments had been earned through missions where heroism meant survival rather than recognition and decorated service. The moment when the SEALs first noticed her trident had lasted only seconds, but its impact continued for years, demonstrating that true military excellence often remained hidden until circumstances revealed capabilities that transformed understanding of service commitment and professional dedication that exceeded normal expectations and career advancement patterns. This story was brought to you by Silent Salute. Before we leave you today, here's our question. Have you ever discovered that someone's quiet service concealed extraordinary achievements that completely changed your perspective about their capabilities? Have you worked alongside people whose past accomplishments remained hidden while they served in roles that seemed inconsistent with their obvious expertise and professional competence? Tell us in the comments about moments when hidden achievements were revealed and transformed your understanding of someone's true military background and service record. And if you believe that exceptional warriors often serve without recognition while processing combat experiences, hit that subscribe button to support our channel's mission of honoring those whose past achievements remain hidden until circumstances reveal their true capabilities. Nobody calls Rodriguez just food service anymore. Not after seeing the trident that revealed 36 months of classified operations and combat medical expertise that exceeded most SEAL career achievements and Special Operations Service records.